So, Matthew, I know you used hand under hand a good bit in your practice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could you always tell, not maybe easily, but could you tell when it was like, this is a no go?
Yeah, I would definitely get a lot of biofeedback from the person in the moment. So the feeling of trying to let go of the hand or trying to extend the arms or starting to squeeze really hard in a moment when the squeeze wasn't there like that before,
Mhm.
those would be ways that I could tell pretty quick, oh, okay, whatever's
Uh,
happening in this moment, we need to pause and do
yep.
the check-in to see what's happening. What part of this is feeling uncomfortable or not quite right, and seeing if we're okay to move forward versus, no, we need to do something different because this is not
Yeah. So, Matthew, I'm curious if you were to go to shave off your beard today,
okay.
would that be comfortable or uncomfortable for you?
Be a bit uncomfortable. Yeah.
What would make it uncomfortable?
The fact that I was losing my beard.
Okay. What
Yeah.
else might make it uncomfortable?
Um, Well, it is quite a process. So definitely having to go through the steps of getting all that, making sure it doesn't go everywhere, and then cleaning it up and making sure I get it cleaned up right because these little hairs go everywhere. But then also just the sensation because it's not something I do a lot of. So when I do, if I shave it all the way down,
Huh?
it's sensitive underneath there to that kind of input because it's not getting that normally. So
Oh, yeah. So you're exposing a bunch of skin that hasn't been exposed for a while.
no. Yeah, and I can tell the
Yeah.
difference when I do. In fact, this area here feels a lot colder or
Uh-huh.
cooler than the rest of it. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's had that nice cover on it for a while.
Yes.
And so, I think what we're saying with hand under hand is a strategy, a technique, but it's to be used as carefully as anything else in pack. We don't believe it's the answer for everybody. I mean, I've had many people who are so used to being done to that they no longer have the mobility or the interest in it. They just get through the task. And that's fine because then we have to figure out another way to engage people in life that has meaning because it's been too long that people have done for or to them that they no longer really know how to do that. That's not to say I haven't tried it and maybe for a short window of time it works, but they don't have the energy, the resources. They really just, they've given that up. And so, there are times when people either don't want to use their energy that way, or for them, being on the receiving side of something builds a relationship that has a different kind of value. For many of us who want to be in control, that's not going to be something that we're really comfortable with. But for other folks, it may be something just like, I want to get my car worked on by somebody else. Of course, I don't want to be there while they're working on the car. I'll be quite honest. I have no desire to sit by and watch them work on the car. And if they're going to wash my car, either I want to wash, I mean, I'll just wash my own car, or I want to see what they're doing that's unique or different about washing my car. But I think, what does that mean when we talk about people and us supporting people or helping people or guiding people or just watching people? What do you think,
Yeah.
Matthew?
It really helps to know the person's preferences. I mean, honestly, like you're pointing out, Teepa, everybody has different preferences. I've worked with people who I wanted to support so they can continue using those skills, but literally they would say, I just want you to do it.
Mhm.
And that was something they were really comfortable with. And I think from what I could tell, they enjoyed having another person with them, interacting with them in that moment and doing, even if it's something as simple as like cleaning or something like that. That was something they wanted, and noticing that versus, well, no, here, come on, let's get into the hand under hand. Here, let's do this together. Come on, you can do it.
Yeah.
You can do it. And what that would have done
And
to our relationship.
yeah. And so that's that idea of if someone gives you permission, and if taking that permission does not cause them to be less, we got to really pay attention to what they're saying. Now, the question I'll usually ask people is, how are we going to sustain this? If they want that level of assist, how can we sustain it? Because what I'm wondering is how much they want the level of assistance versus how much they want the company.
Yeah.
And what that means is if they're a connector and they'll do anything to connect, can we offer them other connections so that they still can do the intimate care for themselves, the tasks that require some skill for themselves, because they don't need to lose their skill in order to get a connection, or do they? So if we set it up that the only time we'll do something with somebody is when they let us do it, well, we're setting the boundary of when we will spend time with someone. And so sometimes finding other ways to spend time and doing a substitution, how you would spend time and how we would use touch and how I will do a hand massage, or maybe we'll do something with fingers and we do something with feet, and maybe we do something with bodies and faces. I mean, we can come up with all kinds of things we could do that aren't just task related to care. And so that the person gets to still have self-care, but we also have relationship care. So I think, again, no solid answers, no yeses always, no always. But I think we need to really be better at seeking permission, getting permission, but also recognizing if someone's a connector and the reason they let us do things is because they so want to get connected, we can still run into a brick wall when it gets to where the person that's trying to connect with them, even that person doesn't want that. And so I just don't want you. And it's like, wow, ouch. Well, that's not good. And it could be because how you do what you do to me doesn't feel right to me. And it doesn't feel like you care about me anymore. It feels like you're not even making eye contact. You're not even watching me. You're just getting the tasks done on me. And sometimes if we can't find ways to stay connected, that can happen. So the idea of the horseshoe table. Now, Matthew, you may or may not. Do you remember the horseshoe tables? Because I could feed 4 different people at one table if I have them all that way, like I'm feeding the mama bird in the nest. And it's like, hopefully that is no longer a scenario anywhere. I hope not, because frankly, there's so many reasons that shouldn't be happening.
I haven't seen one in a while, Teepa, at least in Kansas. I have not seen one in a while. So
that's good to know, because I will tell you, I know that they still exist because I've run across them occasionally. But the idea of trying to do something like that, with the reason being, well, we don't have enough staff. And it's like, well, you know what? Do one person, then the next person, then the next person, then the next person. And acknowledge not everybody needs to be at the table at once. Because I'd much rather eat with someone, even if I'm doing all the helping, and have a connection with that human being, not socializing while we're eating if the person has to focus on taking food in, swallowing it safely, and breathing. So we can typically do a meal relatively quickly that way. And then we could talk a little bit, and then I can move to the next individual that needs support and help. And really looking at how we go about that and recognize meal times are artificial constructs of a facility. And it's all this having to keep the food hot, having to have the food ready, all this stuff. But if we worked as a team frequently, we can figure things out. Our challenge is trying to get it all done at once and then put it out somewhere and then get it all done at once. And that's really not staff-centered, person-centered, or anything else. It's task-focused. So looking from soup to nuts, hand under hand has a place in the scheme, but mostly it's about finding ways to make sure we have permission, making sure the permission we have moves us in the right direction to support the human being as they have chosen and still choose to be, and to make sure that we're considering our own well-being and our time frame, so that what we set up is doable over the long haul.
Hi, I'm Teepa Snow, and you just found our YouTube channel and watched one of our videos. I'm the owner and founder of Positive Approach to Care. Thanks for watching. And if you liked, if you have a comment about, or you would, please share it with people you know. Oh, and if you haven't yet done it, consider subscribing. We'll let you know when the next new video comes out. And you might want to visit our website, www.teepasnow.com, where you'll find other resources as well. See you there.